Have you ever walked into a room and there's one person that commands the respect of everybody in the room? When he speaks, when he stands up, when he does any sort of gesture, you notice his presence in his aura. Well, that guy may not be the richest guy in the room. In some cases he is. He may not be the tallest guy in the room. He may not be the strongest guy in the room. But he has an aura of respect around him. If you're tired of getting taken advantage of, if you're tired of whenever you speak, nobody listens, if you're tired of ultimately not commanding respect, stick with me here because I have 5 masculine traits that command respect. So when you walk in that room, you dominate the room with your presence. Number 1 is self-discipline. And I've talked about this a lot in many of my videos, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit differently in this video in the sense that if you show up to an environment and you're in pretty good shape, you command the respect of everybody around you because immediately your physique being chiseled, being strong goes to show that you have put in time and effort into physical training, which shows that you have discipline, which separates you from most of the society, especially in young men. So just giving you a specific example, when we talk about self-discipline, you can connect it directly with being in shape physically, and that will help you command more respect as a man. It's difficult to command the room when you are extremely overweight. How do you expect to lead an army if you yourself are not in good condition physically? It goes to show that you may exhibit good leadership skills in terms of financial success and making good decisions, but what about when it comes to self-discipline? Anyone that commands respect, you need a high level of self-discipline. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be in tip-top shape, right? Because there are people out there that command respect that aren't super chiseled and super good shape, but having the discipline to not be walking around extremely overweight or undertrained and underprepared for situations and challenges that may come your way. So discipline, important. Number 3 is going to be integrity. Nobody respects a man who lies left and right. It's impossible. How can you respect that man? How can you trust that individual? You know, all he does is lie through his teeth. So if you exhibit honor in your life, if you exhibit integrity in your life, people respect that. So when you say something, people know that you're going to back it up. All right, let's look at Conor McGregor, for example, right? They called him Mystic Mac because he predicted when he would knock people out. He would actually say, I'm going to knock this guy out next fight. And what did he do? He did it. The same thing goes for Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, some of the greatest legends of all time. They would say something and they would back it up with their word, right? This is having not only confidence, but this is going to show that when you say you're going to do something, you're going to follow through in that commitment. That will give you power, influence, and it's an extremely powerful masculine trait that will help you command respect. All right, fourthly, and probably the most important one, is having a strong sense of emotional control. Nobody in the world wants to hang around complainers. They pull you down. They'll take the energy out of you. Nobody wants to be around that type of person. And honestly, nobody gives a nobody wants to hear you complaining. So with that being said, next time you want to complain, think about the real position that you're in. Start saying to yourself, is this really an opportunity for me to complain, or is this an opportunity for me to reframe this and look at this problem as an opportunity for growth? In other words, if you have to complain, nobody wants to hear it. Your partner doesn't want to hear it. Your people at work don't want to. Focus on reframing. When a complaint comes across your mind, frame it as an opportunity to say, all right, maybe there's a problem here, but how can we grow from this? If you're going to say something negative, back it up with a solution. Bring something to the table. So in essence, a man that commands respect, you will never hear that dude complaining. Most of the times, things that come out of his mouth are typically solution-based. The final masculine trait would be a purpose. A masculine man that commands respect is somebody with a purpose and a mission. You never see a man that commands respect not knowing where the hell he's going. Typically, he has a locked on goal, he has a focus, he has a target, and he has a mission. What he wants to do. He wants to execute on that mission, right? So if you don't have a purpose, I'm going to give you one. Focused on being the best version of yourself in every single facet of your life. stronger father, stronger leader, stronger husband, stronger visionary, stronger businessman. And that can be your goal, to improve. And that can be your purpose, to help give you some sense of focus coming up in this next chapter of your life. Well, listen, if you are tired of everything that I mentioned before, if you don't want to get stepped on, you don't want to get taken advantage of, when you speak, nobody listens to you, then implement these masculine traits into your life and you will see success immediately. Now, these things can only be implemented if you have all of them. You can't just have one of them. You can't just be in good shape and have none of the others. You got to stack them. So with this being said, take these traits, apply them in your life. I want to know your feedback. I want to know a couple other traits that you feel like would give you that respect factor as a man when you go into a room. Use these masculine traits to your advantage, stack them, and you'll control the chessboard. I'll see you next week.